GKFX Prime presents the Market Analysis Webinar.
Hello traders, you know what time it is once again. We have another weekly market analysis for you. My name is Dima. We're in the summer months, first week of June now, and let's see what the markets present to us. As always, picked some high probability setups for you this week, looking at various charts across the market, and let's see what the market presents us. Let's see where the opportunities are. Hope you are having a good week whenever you're watching this, and that your weekend went well and you made use of the previous week's setups. If not, no worries. We have another week, another market analysis, and more setups, more opportunities. The markets are always moving. All right, let's get going, and let's start with, as ever, the economic calendar. Let's see what we've got for this week. See what we need to pay attention to. Right. Thank you for being here. And let's see where we are this week. Let's begin. Okay, Monday. What have we got for Monday? We've got CPI from Switzerland. We have a ECB speech on the euro and on the dollar PMI figures there. That's Monday. On Tuesday, we have a very high impact one from Australia, the rate announcement and the statement after that. So watch out for that one. On any pairs with the Aussie dollar, from Canada, we've got PMI numbers there, and on the euro retail sales. Into the middle of the week, Wednesday, we have a speech from the RBA on the Australian there, and GDP figures as well. So let's watch out for that on Wednesday. And from Switzerland, not something we see very often, the foreign currency reserves. So since that's linked to a central bank, then and the whole country, this is what we want to watch out for. And from Canada, we have the rates and the statement as well. So that's the major one for this week. And on the dollar balance of trade, Thursday, again on the dollar unemployment claims and on euro employment change as well. On Friday, again CAD, so employment change there. What do you notice about this week? What's the one to pay attention to? Well, we've got speech, but Monday tends to be quiet. Typically speaking, on Tuesday, the Aussie dollar will be the one to watch for. Again, Wednesday, Aussie dollar and the CAD. Those are the ones that my eye is drawn to. Which ones are you watching for? We've also got some other news, like on the Swiss foreign currency reserves. We never know. Sometimes these things can spring up surprises, even if they don't usually create volatility in the market, but we'll have to wait and see. Remember, your chart will tell you more clearly the situation. So you want to merge both of them together to have your high probability setup, and always manage risk, right? That's what we always say here. All right, if you like all these videos, leave a comment below, really helps, and click like if you're here with us each week, and then let's just help this channel grow and reach more people. So thanks again for joining me. Let's have a look at what we've got in the charts for this week and have a look at what I've got marked up here. I'll begin with the major one, the Aussie dollar. I think we looked at it last week as well. And let's just go to the weekly chart as always. And last week, this is the area that we were aiming for the market to reach to, and indeed it has done that after a bearish week. What did we have? We had this area marked out. We didn't quite retrace that high, but we did have this price action as expected, and we had this what looks to be now a reversal, taking out these highs here to the left, and the market shot straight up, reversed in the middle of the week. Now the question is, what do we expect from now on? Well, if this is indeed going to be a reversal with all of this part of the retracement in this area that we looked at earlier, then the question really is, well, we should be going higher. Now, where are we going higher from? Let me just delete. That's not what to do. Delete all of these just to, because we don't need them. And that one. So since it's no longer relevant, here's that area. Are we going to get this reversal? Well, in order for this to be a proper reversal, we really want to see a break higher. Now, at the moment, it looks like a possible reversal. However, we want to see a higher push, and what I would like to see to confirm is a break of this high for the market to go higher, and then, as always, a pullback to a lower price, and then to go higher into the next obvious level, which is up here. Then we have another level up here, the next target, and then ultimately even higher than that. Now, if we don't get this break here, we may have a drop as well in the market, and we may have a swing being formed here. However, I'll wait and see what happens, because the real confirmation will be a clean break above this level on the daily chart. And the reason I'd wait for that is because I want to see a much higher time frame confirmation after this very long and drawn out retracement phase from this impulse. So I really want to see the confirmation that we are going higher, rather than assume that the market is turning around. So that's the preference, and it may take some time. It may not even happen this week. We'll have to wait and see, remembering we do have Aussie news. Let's let that play out, and then we will have a bit of a clearer picture, easier to see what's happening. At the moment, too early to say, and even too early to drop down to a lower time frame chart. All right, but that's what it is on the weekly. At the moment, the potential is there, however, not yet confirmed, not yet very clear, because we are in, on the weekly basis, at least if you take this sort of price range, we are not quite clear of it. We want to be really clear of it, really broken through it, to have that clear bullishness back in the market. Let's go to another major pair, and we've got dollar yen. So dollar yen is one that we looked at last week, I believe, as well. We looked at this being a significant point to reach into as the market is going higher and higher. And then last week we closed neutrally with a wick to the downside. And if you have a look here, we can see that if I delete this, and let me just delete these, we see that we haven't quite reached that swing here, right? And we have this gap in the price where the market has not come back to. So I'm kind of paying attention to this price point and possibly going higher. We don't have yet a reversal or nothing clear to see there, right? So what next? Well, let's get rid of this as well. So what's next is that we have broken this structures here to the left. It looks like we are creating a new swing. Just a quick look at it on the daily to be a bit clearer. So here's that overall target to bear in mind. So the next thing I would watch for is some kind of swing. If this is the actual swing, the next swing high, this is the higher high, then we want to reach into that target. Let's look on the lower time frame. The thing that I would expect here is to see some kind of retracement into the zone to get a lower price, and then once there is a swing confirmation, the price reacts off the zone, we have a nice push higher, then that would be the idea for this trade. And obviously this low would be the invalidation point, and if we go lower than that and the market breaches this price point, then not really going to be very interested, because we'll be breaking a structure. So here's the place of interest that I'm looking at, about the 139.3, something like that. And here's the breaking point, 1.38.3, 138.3, right? We want to see the market continue, hold its swing, hold its way from last week's low. We don't want to break last week's low and then go higher, but not yet quite clear. We're in a sort of no man's land here. I want to see a much cheaper price and then push higher, continuation higher. Okay, place a comment if you don't understand the idea, the principles here behind what I'm saying, and we can interact and perhaps help you out if there's some misunderstanding. So for now, let's carry on. Pause the video as always if you need to, and if you need to slow down to just get a hang of it. Otherwise, let's continue. Let's go with the CAD yen now. With the CAD yen, we have monthly bullishness, clear continued bullishness, as we can see. And then again, playing on the weakness of the yen, dollar yen, again, weakness of the yen. So we have expected strength in the CAD yen. We've also seen this clear price action. Each week we've got bullishness and bullishness. We've breached these levels, so we can delete them because we've already gone through them. We can delete these previous markings, they're no longer relevant. And let's have a look at what we got next. Well, the next target will be this swing high. So that is 1.105.8. And if we look on the weekly chart, we can see this is last week's low. So now where's the next price point to think about? Well, it will be the next level, which would be somewhere around about here. So I do not expect the market to breach this level because it's a major swing low. And similar to the dollar yen, here's the first target, which we are now reaching, and here would be the ultimate one. So that's about 180 pips away. Once again, similar idea, a drop to a low price, either this area or even lower. Could possibly have, here's a low area. See which one the market wants to react off. If it does, it may drop even lower. So obviously, as I'm saying, the break below here would be the invalidation. So here's that low price, and then the continuation higher. Okay, so there's that idea. Got clear bullishness, no sign of reversal, no sign of any price action or halting. It's just continuing to speed its way up. So gotta make use of that if we have it, if the market shows it to us. All right, for now we don't see anything clear. We are very, very bullish, very, very high price, and don't want to buy at that expensive area. Right, that's CAD yen. Hope that's all quite clear. Let's move on now to other pairs. Let's go to Euro GBP. What do we have on Euro Pound? So Euro Pound, this is what we were looking at last week as the area to trade into and possibly reverse. We did not have that. The price stalled and then just collapsed, and we did not have any reversal, any price action higher, as you can see on last week. So here we are, we had just a clear, obvious drop, straight up drop. Now, what does that signify? Let's delete these old markings which are not relevant at the moment. Now let's have a think. So we have marked this area up here as the point for the market to reach into. Now, just to make it simpler, because we're quite a way away from there, so that cleanup chart is a bit cleaner. Still looking at that level. However, we have now gone through and beyond this area that I marked out, which I wanted a reversal from. I was thinking, well, if the market is going to do that, then I would want to trade it, but it did not. This looked like a brief reversal, but the price action was weak. As you can see on the daily, we just ranged. It looks like it was going to be a pin bar, but the market did not push higher, did not create new highs. It just went lower and created a new low. So there was no real obvious swing here. As you can see, the highs were not broken and no real price action. It's just a very, very kind of choppy range. So what's next? If we go back to the weekly chart, well, since we've broken through this, the next target in terms of following what the market is doing, which is selling, the next target would be this low. Now, what are the possibilities? What are the probabilities? Where are we going to go from here? So we've got a bearish week. We may be continuing on last week's weakness and going to the downside. Now, if we're going to the downside, continuing lower, then the area to watch out for would be here. So now, if we get a reversal, once we get a more expensive price once again, and we get a reversal, then I'll be looking at the next target that we marked out on the weekly, being here, which is, let's put a price point, 0.854, around about there, 855 more likely. Yeah, 0.855. So if we get that reversal, now if we don't, and instead what happens is we have the opposite and the market shoots higher, well, I would want a nice clean break first of all of this level, which is quite some way away, 100 pips away, which is a decent amount of pips for euro pound. Euro pound is typically a slower pair in terms of the number of pips it moves. So I really want a clear break of the highs, as you can see here. In fact, last week's high would be the clearer point, because this is where we had that bearish move begin. So if we go back and take out that high, then that will be an indication that the market wants to in fact go higher, and we have not broken this big large time frame, high time frame swing low, major low point in the market. So we'll wait for that and we'll see which one of these two is in fact plays out. I would watch out for, first of all, be the sell scene as we are in a weak Euro GBP environment. Therefore, this would be what I would watch out first. However, if we have the push higher, then I would reassess, and it may take some time. However, the idea that I'll be looking for in terms of probability is a move back down to get a cheaper price to some kind of level, and then have the move higher. But again, you want to see price action, clear bullishness going on. Now, there's a lot of movement in euro pound. Let's see if that actually happens. For now, because we have the bearishness last week, we're going to look for the market to come down a bit lower. That's euro pound. Now let's go into EURCAD. Where we've got EURCAD. Let's delete all of these just to help you. Otherwise, I'm going to get lost in the messiness of the chart. Nobody likes messy charts. It's a bit of a headache. Right, so I'm going to leave these markings for now, because if you remove last week, we were looking at lower prices, and this is indeed the last point where I was looking to trade into, and we did go do that. We did trade it through it, in fact, and we just went lower as expected. So let's delete these markings, which are not necessary anymore. And what we had last week is a break lower, and then a pullback, and then continuing to the downside. So let's go back to the weekly, and what do we see? Well, we had a bearish week, very clear to see, and we're now breaking all these structural lows. Here's that low, broken low, broken low, broken low, and now it seems like we may be breaking this low as well. If it's the case that we're going to continue lower, well, then this would be the next obvious low to watch for. Obvious bearishness, obvious weakness in the market, and what that indicates is the fact that, well, we'll continue on that. There is no reversal here, and this would be the next point to watch for. So that is 1.422 with this level, and the next level to look for, to trade from. Well, where do we go from here? If we're going to trade, if we're going to look at something of interest, this gap in the market, we had this swing. We can see this swing. Here's another swing, and now we're going lower. So we're going to create another possible swing here, with this being the invalidation. So that's the clear place, last place where the market moved away from, and be waiting for this kind of idea, another better price, and a continuation with the price action down to the next level. So that is approximately 190 pips away, so it should give us a decent risk to reward if we get this price action this week and the market reacts. Now if we go higher, we have no reaction, and we go higher, we take out this high, then the whole idea, this whole thing is invalidated, okay? Because we have to allow the market to do its thing, and if the market shows us where it wants to go, higher, then so be it. We let the market play out if that's what it chooses to do. And if that's the case, then we have to reevaluate and reassess, and not get married to the idea, but just be flexible and see where the market wants to go. But this is the obvious low point that I'll be watching for, and yeah, this is the zone, this is the area of interest. So now we've got our idea marked out. This will be what we're looking for on EURCAD, and let's see how it plays out, and if the price action actually tells us, lines up with our idea. We do have Euro news, CAD news, so it may be one to watch out for. Okay, EURCAD again, if you have any question, post your comment down below and we'll take a look at it. Okay, next one on the list, we've got quite a few Forex pairs. We go to Pound New Zealand. Pound New Zealand is another one we've been looking at. Looked for bullishness in last week, which we could see that the market did that based on the previous price action and this weekly swing. If we have a look on the 4 hour, we wanted to lower price, but we did not get that in the market last week. We just went straight up. Now what's happening this week? Well, we have a retracement. The market did retrace much of its price action last week in the same week, and we do have a new month. So if you could see that the candle is bullish, closed higher than the previous swing, so I would expect more bullishness for the month. However, we're in a retracement phase. If you see, we have here a few days of retracement. So now the question is, where are we going to get a turnaround? Well, we don't really have to predict. We could just see what happens. So the first, just delete this for a second. So the first place to watch out for is this level here, and my eye would be drawn to this level. And if the market bounces off this level, continues on its upward momentum, on its clear bullishness, you can see we had many days with no pullback. So it's not a surprise that we are in a midst of a pullback. We expect some pullback, and eventually, of course, the market and the price just doesn't completely shoot up or collapse. There's always going to be some kind of retracement at some point. So here we are in that phase, which is great. It gives us another opportunity to enter on this bullish move. Massive move last week. I mean, huge, almost 1,000 pips. So if we get this area of interest where the market will create a swing from, then this may be a possible idea. However, I do still prefer the lower price, which is down here, and it'd be a much nicer, much better price, 2.02 to trade from. Right, here's this price. We've got 2.03, 2.04, thereabouts. Because this is a much cheaper price, this would be much more preferable. However, because of this huge bullishness, I don't necessarily expect this to happen for the market to reach this area. So let's see where it actually chooses to reverse from. Now, what I'm going to do is, in fact, I'm going to draw another area, which is the gap down here. So we'll see where the market reaches to, whether it reaches to here or whether it wants to go lower. I don't know, but because you can see that this gap here, where we had a gap in the market between this close and this open, and we had no wick there. That's another point of reference that I am looking at as well. And we've got this gap and this level here. So 3 points, these two are near each other, and then this deeper one, which is a lower price. So that's the idea on pound New Zealand, with New Zealand being on the weaker side. We do have, again, news for these two this week. So let's see where we are going to go and let the market come to us, let the turnaround happen. We are in the retracement phase, we're aware of it, so let it happen, let it play out, and then we will have a chance, plenty of chances to jump on board. Let's go back to the weekly. What do we see? Well, the next swing high, we've got this point that we have already reached into, and after that, obviously, the next clear one is up there, but that is a long way away. However, at the same time, saying that, you never know, especially as pound New Zealand is a flyer. It really does move. When it moves, it really moves hundreds of pips. That's the idea here. Let's see where we go, and we're going to wait for the market to show its thing, show its hand, and tell us what it wants to do. Another thing to note is last week we have no wick to the bottom, and I wouldn't be surprised if the market reached that. We usually get wicks on each candle, but when we don't, then that gap acts as a place where the market could refill into. Let's see if it does. Okay, so that's the pound New Zealand. Now let's move on to, as always, end up with the final one being crypto. And let's have a look at Bitcoin once again. Right, a bit of a messy chart. If you haven't been with me last week, then this may be a little bit confusing, but let me explain it to you. Let's just go over it again, what the idea was here. Well, we were looking for price to reach into this low and possibly this low in these zones for this retracement phase, looking at this whole thing being a retracement, and this to be the impulsive bullish move, because we were continuing with the bullishness. We're looking for the market to continue bullish, but create first a retracement. Now we did go low, and now we have gone higher, and now we are stuck in this range. So let me just delete all of these to make it a bit clearer, a bit easier, and still looking for the market to reach into one of these levels. And we've got a gap here, but that's very far away. It's a deep retracement. So we don't know that, but we've got these marked out. We're still stuck in this range, and you can see that we have just pipped above this high, which was our reference point. However, did not close higher, and now we are in fact stuck within this range. So now looking at this whole thing as a range, and what's next from here, you can see this sort of channel, if you like, if you want to draw a channel, just as a kind of reference point for your eyes. I really want to see a break of this high and this ranging movement to confirm higher prices before jumping on board. At the moment, it's not clear. It's just messy, really messy here. There's no clarity. Nothing is saying bullish. Looking at the weekly, clearly no bullish price action. It's just weak overall on the daily as well, choppy. So still looking for those lower prices in order to buy now. Because of that, just one really, if you're a crypto fan, a Bitcoin fan, it's a bit more volatile. It's a bit more, it creates these messy swings, and you do want to give it a bit of room to move. So because of that, where are we going from here, and what are we going to look at here? Well, it hasn't broken this high. We've created a lower low here on the high time frame. We have a range here and no clear price action to give us that bullish move. So that means we're going to still stick, even though we have had weeks and weeks of this. We have had, in fact, how many I've lost count of how many weeks. It's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, about 12 weeks. So that's 3 months of sideways action. Really testing everybody's patience. If we go to the monthly, you can see 1, 2, it's the third month. So we're still looking for that retracement to finish, to create a low, create a new swing long, and then finally go higher. So we're just gonna have to be even more patient than before and not crack. The market needs to crack first. What is that going to look like? Well, first of all, we need a break of the low, which is this low here. And if we get a break of that low, then we will be looking at this as a first zone. As always, this is the second one, and this is a very, very extreme level. We don't know where it's going to happen, how it's going to happen, so let's wait for it to do that. Because it's stuck in this range, I'm not going to take any sell trades. I should say it's not high probability scenario, so no point to, and no gambling. So just wait for the market to do its thing and reach one of these levels, and then if it does, then I'll be looking at buying at a nice cheap price if we have a turnaround. But we're going to want to see a major turnaround, this level, or perhaps this level, or even this level. You never know. So the idea is to be bullish. However, we're going to wait for a drop, a major drop, before doing that. Now, if the market doesn't give it to us and we go higher and we break this high, then possibly I'll be looking at a much more bullish move before considering it. I want to break up this high too, and then come down to the low end, to the high end of this range, and then continue higher. So that is the second option. If the assumption that we are going to get a lower price is wrong. So I'm going to play that scenario out and see where it wants to go, how it wants to play out. At the moment, it's just, like I say, yeah, it's early days. I don't want to be jumping into something that's just not ready, not ripe for picking. Really want to be patient, and it's test our patience, but so be it. We can go and look at other charts. For now, we manage our risk. You know, put your hands under your thighs and sit it out until there's more clarity there. Right now, just, yeah, nothing exciting really, is there? It's not clear. It's not showing us an obvious direction, and we want to see clear directional bias in order to make use of the chart, use of the market, whichever market it is. So if you haven't noticed already, we're doing basically most of the time capturing, making use of the trend and waiting for the time when it is actually established properly and the probabilities are in our favor. So if that's too much for you or too much information, as always, pause the video and leave a comment below if you prefer to do that to get some clarity. But otherwise, these are the charts for this week and the higher probability scenarios that I see in the market. Watch out for the news as always. Manage your risk as always. My name is Dima. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for being with me here, and have a good trading week, guys. And I will see you next week as always. All right. Hit the like button as always, leave a comment, and yeah, manage your trades, trade your plan, and overall over a longer time frame you should be more successful. So not taking many trades, not risking too much, and you can stay in the game. Okay guys, thanks, and see you on the next video next week. All right, bye for now.